Hi everyone, I'm Mike King, creator of Profiling Evil. I want to take a moment and send a big shout out to our friends at Court TV. I'm really grateful for the chance that they've given me to appear on Crime Time with Vinnie and my friend Chris McDonough. In this episode, we're talking about 3 different situations. First, let's look at the gang-related shooting in Los Angeles and about the response from the LAPD. From there, we're going to look at a double murder case in Detroit, Michigan, and how one rapper came to the aid of the victims. And finally, from my own hometown of Salt Lake City, let's look at the case of 2 young boys caught on video breaking into a local bar.
Welcome back. This is the time of the program where we take a look at those stories from around the country and get insight and perspective from law enforcement professionals who have done the work and done the job. Let's introduce our guest tonight. Retired police officer Mike King is with us. Mike has served more than 4 decades in law enforcement. He was also a chief of staff to the Utah Attorney General. He is currently the director of fraud and emergency communication at a global geographic information systems company. And most importantly, he's a host of Profiling Evil on YouTube, incredible series. Also with us tonight, former homicide detective Chris McDonough. Chris has been in public safety for more than 35 years. He spent nearly 25 years with the Oceanside Police Department, including 13 years as a homicide detective. He's a member of the investigative team of the Cold Case Foundation and is the other host of Profiling Evil on YouTube. Chris, Mike, great to have you both back on the program. Thank you. Awesome. Let's get to the first story now. We've got video released by the Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD, and in this video, no one actually gets shot, but an officer shoots at a fleeing alleged gang member.
Southeast Area Gang Enforcement Detail officers responded to a radio call of a 415 group gang activity with a gun at the rear of an apartment complex in the 300 block of East 99th Street.
Any Southeast Gang units, 415 group gang activity with a gun behind the apartment complex, approximately 7 Main Street gang members, all male blacks, possibly a handgun at the location, monitor comments.
Prior to arriving at the radio call, the officers developed a plan to have some officers approach the group from the alley south of 99th Street, and additional officers would approach from 99th Street.
He's out. Hey, hold on. Hey, he threw it. Hey. Yes. Hold him. Do you want me to hop straight for you on the radio? No, that's fine. I got the radio. We'll hold him here? Yeah. I got the radio. I'm not going anywhere. All right. I'm gonna... On 99th Street. Hey, yeah, he threw it right here. It's right here. I got it. You got it? It's right here. Hey, we'll move up on him. We'll move up on him. Time out. Let me, because I know units back there. There's 3 other guys back there. Hey, someone advise. Hey, are you hit? We have a main suspect that has the firearms. He's thrown out right now. On this west side of the house. Hey, let's move up on him. Yeah. Hey, Bree, hold the gun. Hey, it's right there. I'm already getting shot, my kid. I don't know.
Page ran back toward the rear of the apartment complex, where officers had stayed with the 3 men who had not run when they had arrived.
George 47, shots fired, officer detail, 338 East 99. Roll over!
I don't have anything. Don't fire, I don't have anything. I'm scared. I don't have nothing.
Relax.
Yeah.
Hey, put your arms out to the side, just relax. Chill. Just everyone, just relax. Just chill. Hey, dude, hey, are you hit? Are you hit? Are you hit right now?
I don't know.
Hey, just relax. Do you need an ambulance?
I don't know.
Hey, I got him. Back up. I got him.
Please don't shoot me, please.
Hey, I don't know who's holding. I got him. Get back. Relax. Watch our back. Watch our back.
Hey, Kevin, chill, bro. Chill out. Chill out, bro. I cannot do nothing to him, bro.
I got money in my pocket. That's it. I was scared. They've been shooting people over here. I don't know what to do.
Hey, just we're fine. We're fine. We're good.
Hey, man, I don't like him, bro. He anxious to shoot,
Just
bro.
relax, man.
He anxious to shoot. He anxious to kill somebody, fool. On the dead. He could have killed my homie, bro. He anxious to shoot, fool. Come on, bro. Y'all ain't got nothing. Hey, y'all gotta do all that, man. Y'all gotta do all that.
Yeah, it's just one at a time. Just relax. One at a time. We're good. It's just go. Yeah, Chavez is over there. They chase him that way.
I don't understand.
Hey, is somebody holding it? We're moving up.
Hey,
we're moving up.
we're coming up.
We're moving up.
You gotta do me like that.
Where's the article?
No resistance.
Hey, all four guys are in custody, right?
On my chest.
Yeah. And no, hey, get a patrol unit to do it because we're all involved. Get a patrol unit. Hey.
After being taken into custody, officers verified Page was not struck by gunfire. A semi-automatic handgun was recovered in the walkway adjacent to where Page had run. Page's DNA was found on this handgun. That evening, Page was booked for possession of a firearm.
All right, and obviously I've never done the work. Is this scene chaotic or is it under control? I'm hearing all this radio traffic. I'm seeing all these officers. I just don't know, but these body cam videos take us there. Mike, is this chaos or do they have things under control?
Oh, I think they were executing flawlessly. It was really impressive to watch, and it is a clear indication that training pays off. The officers do bunch up a little as they get into that tunnel, and you think about that, Vinnie. I mean, you're chasing a suspect down such a narrow pathway right there. He's thrown a weapon over the fence. It's obviously hit the building and bounced back against the fence where they locate it. But the whole time they're communicating, they're coordinating with each other. The backup is right there covering them as they move down that corridor. But the really cool thing happening is the officer on the backside of the building who's coming up. You can hear how calm he is in his voice. Now, given this is a shooting and a high-risk situation, and yet we hear that officer really quite professionally handling people, kind of calming down those suspects on the ground, and maintaining the entire scene, coordinating other officers that are coming in. I was just so proud watching that.
Chris, there's so many moving parts here, and you've got officers on both sides, and you've got they're firing. Did they strike him? Did they not strike him? Then there was that moment where they're saying watch our backs, watch our backs. I guess there's a lot of things you've got to be cognizant of in the midst of all this happening. You can't have tunnel vision.
Yeah, no, good point, Vinnie. I mean, you've got all of this, officer safety issues taking place here. You've got citizens that you also have to be aware of. You've got other subjects. Looks like you got 3 or 4 other guys laying out there in the courtyard. And then, of course, you got the suspect running, coming over that fence after, they're hearing the gunfire. So, it's organized chaos, what we used to call it. And, you also have the consideration of what the initial call was. It was a 415 man with a gun potentially. So they're already going into, a disturbance, and one of the individuals could be armed. And sure enough, somebody breaks and there's a handgun, in the play. So it was handled well and correctly.
Chris, what do you think? The fact, when you fire the weapon, do you know if you hit the target? Do you not know if you hit the target? Do you think he perhaps missed on purpose? What do you think was going on there?
Yeah, no, that's a great question because, he obviously had eyes on the suspect as he was running, and he must have seen that weapon coming out. And so, you've got a split second to make a choice, and this officer chose, to send some rounds, downrange, which, could go both ways. I mean, it could be very risky. And again, it could save your life if that suspect were to turn in a quick motion and have that handgun in his hand. So, yeah, it's a tough call, Vinnie. Tough call.
Mike, the other part of this that I'm hearing is as the suspect's on the ground, he's like, why are you shooting at me? I'm just running. And, it kind of takes us to the times that we're in now, that it's an issue. And it looks like it's an issue instantaneously now.
Yeah, imagine how inflamed that could have become if they didn't recover the gun, if the officer didn't have body cam, wasn't able to identify that the suspect was pulling a weapon out, either to throw it over the fence or to aim back at officers. But clearly you got to be able to justify the use of force, and in this case it looks like they did.
All right, more Crime Time straight ahead, plus this.
Before Judge Amy Coney Barrett begins her job here, she must be confirmed by the full Senate across the street here at the U.S. Capitol. She's been fielding questions all day long, and coming up, we'll bring you the biggest moments from inside and outside the committee room.
And police in Houston post this video of bikers taunting squad cars on the highway. What is behind this disregard for law enforcement? Tonight, the 13th Juror Speaks. Go to our Facebook pages and tell us what you think.
We rolled it back and saw these two kids. I would guess like 8 to 10, maybe. We dubbed them the Sprite Bandits.
Oh, yeah, the Sprite Bandits. We'll get to that in just a little bit. A crazy story out of Utah. Those two kids breaking into a bar in the middle of the night. One of the stories we're covering tonight here in our Crime Time segment. Still with us, our law enforcement professionals and the hosts of Profiling Evil podcast that you can catch on YouTube. Make sure you take a look at it. Mike King, Chris McDonough still with us. Our next story from WXYZ in Detroit. A rapper offering a reward in a double murder.
Every time 28-year-old Isis Rimson drove her 8-year-old daughter Rayla to school, she played this gospel song, "He Saw the Best in Me" by Marvin Sapp. When Rayla's grandma fills in driving, her granddaughter needs that song.
Nana, put it on for you, Rayla.
Derlanda Farmer says they have told Rayla someone killed her mom. But the sweet little girl has not accepted it and still tries to call her. Detroit police responded to a car on fire on Hyde Park in Detroit early Thursday morning. They found Decoya Moore dead inside. When they went to his home on Otis Street and Warren to make notification, they found his fiancée Isis and his 6-year-old son murdered, execution style, in the basement. Farmer says she can't stop thinking about the last minutes they all went through, especially the 6-year-old boy who quickly won her heart with his sense of humor.
He said, "Can I call you Nana?" And I said, "You sure can." And this was our last conversation. And he goes, "Well, since you're my Nana, let me have that Coca-Cola right there." And I said, "You can have anything in that pantry. All the goodies are for you."
Detroit rapper Trick Trick heard about the murder of that child and posted this on social media.
I got 6,000 to whoever the give me the information leading to the arrest and conviction of the that killed that baby.
Farmer says she's grateful for help as she hopes for justice and answers from the killer or killers.
How do you sleep with yourself at night? This baby right here will never see her mother again.
Somebody knows something, and now, the rapper Trick Trick putting the money out there, stepping up. Will the community respond? Chris, do you think the community will respond here?
Vinnie, I hope so. I mean, good for this guy to step up, on behalf of that kid. When is enough, right? And, it's one thing for all of us at a different level to, we know what the risk levels are of what the things we do, but, kids are a different story. So, good for him. I hope the community does respond. It sounds like, he's trying to kick the beehive out there, and hopefully somebody will call in.
Mike, I have to think that someone knows what happened here. There are people who know what happened here. This just didn't happen in a bubble. And you need someone to step forward in a case like this.
Yeah, I think that's really the thing that is most important at this point. Again, that was so nice that rapper steps up and offers this reward. Hopefully it motivates some people to share. You need to dig into what the background is of the victims involved in here, and if there's involvement with narcotic trafficking or other kinds of things that have led to some of this. Also, to try to understand why is that vehicle set on fire and how did that get accomplished? Was there fuel picked up to do that? Where did it originate? Those kinds of things are going to become so important in solving a case like this.
Absolutely. Final story tonight from KSTU in Salt Lake City. some really, I mean, really young boys break into a bar.
Most people don't come to Trolley Bar for the soft drinks. Then again, to step inside this trolley car, you have to be of a certain age. Thursday morning, owner Jeff Cree received a call.
Immediately, I thought the worst.
In the middle of the night, his bar had some unwanted visitors.
We came through, everything was just kind of smashed up.
The evidence left behind was peculiar.
We realized nothing was stolen, nothing was really truly damaged, so what happened here?
That question was answered by the trolley security cameras.
We rolled it back and saw these two kids.
These two little guys,
I would guess like 8 to 10, maybe,
broke in.
The little one, who was about 3 feet tall, came through the window and opened the door for the bigger one.
And did some damage inside the trolley.
And then they came in and just took all the glasses on the end and shoved them onto the ground.
Because of their age, we're blurring the boys' faces, but behind that blur, it's clear to see they don't seem to mind the fact the cameras are rolling.
We dubbed them the Sprite Bandits.
They enjoy a few soft drinks, but no alcohol.
I don't even know if they know what it is. They're so young.
Then these vandals open the register, trash the iPad, and break some salt and pepper shakers before taking off.
I would say all the glass that they touched broke.
Jeff is more concerned about the safety of these two night owls.
Yeah, my concern is not the glass. It's not anything here.
It's easy to laugh about this now.
I think they're a couple boys being boys, and I think they're just having a little bit of fun, and that they probably shouldn't be doing.
But Jeff hopes the parents of these two see the video.
Those two kids can be on another news story about disappearing, and their parents should probably know.
And make some changes.
Let's squash the bad habits.
To get these boys on the right path.
It's not a good way to start doing things at 8 years old.
Wow. So I'm really curious here, guys. You know, what are the issues that you see in this case? I mean, you could approach this many different ways. Mike, I'll start with you. As you look at what we just saw, what are the issues that you see here?
Well, I think first and foremost, I was actually raised just a few miles from that location in Salt Lake City, and so I love seeing the imagery and thinking back when I was kind of an incorrigible kid too. But the challenge here is that these boys are out, they're unsupervised, they're in a position where this seems like a good idea to them. I'm really grateful that they were mainlining the Sprite and not some of the other drinks that were in that bar. But yeah, it's one that they need a mom and dad to sit down with them and give them some stiff counsel.
Yeah, Chris, what do you see here? Like you hear about a story like this, right? What comes to your mind? What's the first thing you think that has to be dealt with here?
You know, I mean, this is obviously, a pretty serious parenting issue, number one. Number two, I'm surprised they didn't go for the root beer versus the Sprite. And the third thing here is, those parents need to be brought in and sat down with those boys and say, look, let's talk about this, because obviously those kids can't form the specific intent to commit a crime. They're way too young, but they are on a path that could lead them in a road that we certainly don't want them on. So.
You know what's fascinating here, Mike? We get a lot of videos, and these like grown burglars completely have no idea a video camera is on them. These kids knew. They were waving to it, then they were turning it later. They were relatively sophisticated for 8 to 10-year-olds.
Yeah, kids wandering in the inner city at night are pretty sophisticated anymore. I think one of the neat things that would be is if somehow these boys were brought in and had to clean up that place, meet the owner, that's where they really start to gather and gain that compassion and that empathy that's needed in people today.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Chris. The first thing I was thinking is where are the parents here, and what exactly is the situation here? Are these kids that are just out of control? Are these parents who are not paying attention? And if this is happening in the middle of the night, you'd expect that there would be maybe a call to police. Hey, I don't know where my kids are.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And, for all we know right now, these kids are suffering in some problematic relationships where their parents obviously just don't have the control necessary. So, And this is more of a parent problem than it is a kid problem at this age.
Absolutely. Super young. I remember when I was a prosecutor in juvenile court, you would get some that were that young, and you were like, wow, I can't believe all this is going on. All right, Mike King, Chris McDonough, Profiling Evil on YouTube. We've been talking about that. I just have like a minute here. The Suzanne Morpheu case. She's been missing. There were searches for her. Can you give us a really quick update on that?
Well, it was amazing to participate in that and to see what the brother put together. Nearly 700 searchers over the course of several days there, all managed in real time and watched in real time as they searched. I know that there were some really good pieces of evidence, Vinnie, that were turned over to the sheriff's office, some that they've spoken about, others that they have not. So in all, I think for that brother, it gave him some peace of mind to know that he did what should have been done by others, and that they actually gave something back.
Chris, you want to give us the final word?
You know, hopefully they'll get some justice soon in that situation. I mean, Mike and I interviewed a clerk recently who found out that, you know, the husband was digging through some trash outside for items of potential evidence. So he basically was looking for a bicycle helmet. We thought that was just another red flag, and so we're confident the investigation's moving in the right direction and hopefully there'll be a resolution.
All right, and we're continuing to track that here on Court TV with a lot of help from these two guys. Make sure you check out Profiling Evil on YouTube. Chris and Mike, fantastic. Thanks so much.
Sure good to see you, Vinnie. Thank you.
See you, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, folks.
Well, thanks for supporting Profiling Evil. Make sure you check out our website at profilingevil.com, and we'll see you soon.